Hello and welcome to another episode of No Johns, the official Amiibo podcast. I'm Atomic Snails. Joining me today is fellow friend, fellow smasher, and fellow overall nice guy, SMS. How you doing today, man?
Hey, good shit. I'm doing alright so far this morning, man.
Yeah, good
Just
to
chilling and just taking it easy before I go off to work.
Hey, good to hear, good
But
to
yeah,
hear.
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for joining. I know I had to get you on after we watched the Animal Crossing Direct and somehow got 2 hours of just talking about NSO. So I knew that you'd be somebody to get on, that could talk about just about anything and we could make a good conversation out of it.
Hell yeah. You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize that was shit was 2 hours.
No, we went for a while. We went for a while. All right, so I guess this kind of start us off. So let's kind of start off with your experience with Smash. This is a Smash Brothers podcast. How did you get into the game?
Until I get into the game. Um, I guess started from like the very first one. Is like I got into, I was around there in like the 64 days, and I played the game a lot with like my family, my brothers mainly, like their friends and shit. And I just realized like how fun the game was, and just how much you could just like the replay value on that shit was just so insane. So I started from the 64.
I'm glad to find another person who started from 64. I was talking with Stealth, who will be on later in the episode, and he said he started with Brawl, and I had to look at him like, really, Brawl that late? Because to me, it's like I remember I had a 64, and my neighbors did too, but my parents didn't let me have quote unquote violent video games, so I had to go over to their house and play Smash when I was a kid, and I just fell in love with it until I eventually begged them enough that I got a copy for it was either a Christmas or a birthday. It might have been like Easter or some weird holiday too, but it was some holiday.
Oh,
But
good shit.
but I just remember getting that and falling in love. And I think I played Kirby because I was a dumb kid and he had multiple jumps, and I thought that instantly made him a top tier. Later, that I learned he actually is a top tier in 64. So I guess I had the right thoughts to it. So and yeah, ever
The main
since
ones I,
then
the
I've been
main ones I
playing.
played, it was interesting, but the main ones I played was Fox and Link. I don't know what it was about them, but it's just I just liked their play style back then.
Oh yeah, no, they were
And
different. I think I'll say that definitely about Smash 64. I think every character is really fun to play. There's no character that's really not fun to play as in 64.
true, yeah,
Maybe I can argue Ness, but even he's pretty fun. He's just really technical compared to
yeah,
what the
it's
game
just
can
hard to
do.
control them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's hard to control
Absolutely.
them.
So then, obviously, you play Ultimate. Who do you main now?
Do you just want just a one or all?
I mean, if you have like a rotation, go for it.
Okay, so from top to bottom is Lucas, Greninja. It's like a mix between Greninja and Banjo for number two, number three, and then I want to say after that maybe like either Roy or Byleth.
All right. I'm curious to see somebody playing banjo still. Is it dedication to the character, or did you just really click with how they play?
Oh, I that's interesting because I even said it on like my own channel, SMS the Miracle, that I was gonna get into this like sometime, but what made me start playing characters like Banjo, Greninja, Palutena, which when I first started playing them in this game in Ultimate, was because I came into Ultimate being like super casual. So, I would always do like smash attacks for like every fucking like move and whatnot. I was that casual. And those characters, I noticed just how much their tilts like captivated me, and how like it's hard to explain, but it's like with Lucas, it's like he's like a huge range from either being super casual or like super good, like competitive or technically, and then with Greninja and like Banjo, I could just tell that and Palutena too. I could just tell that like they were. That's why like the main community like likes playing them because they're so. It's hard to explain. They're so like tight knit or so
Mhm.
like close to what they do. So it's kind of like quick, fast attacks, but also you can get out and do what you need to do. But pretty much like yeah, that's what got me into playing those three especially was because of it got me used to using their tilt attacks. It got me more so from being like super casual to like decent competitive.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I kind of got into Smash 4 competitively because of Duck Hunt in Smash 4, and I saw how technical he was, and I decided, oh, let's see how far we can take this. And also kind of this urge of I wanted to take a character that seemed like a joke character and show what he could do. So that's my excuse, at least.
And yeah, that's actually my history with Smash overall is 64 Melee Brawl. Didn't play 4 at all because that was when I started doing like some IRL stuff, and that didn't really require me to play video games that much around that time. And then so skipped out on the entirety of the Wii U and Smash 4, and then got into Ultimate.
Got back into ult.
So yeah, that's like my little bit of history for it. So that's why. So Greninja at Palutena was completely new to me in Ultimate.
Okay,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
You definitely picked the right game to pick them up in comparison to Smash 4, especially
Yeah.
Palutena, who was just not good.
I heard about that. I will say, I guess it like depends on how you think about it too. It's kind of like a mixed bag with either starting in Smash Four or skipping over Smash Four, because I know a lot of people that are really good at Smash Four now, at that and that are like kind of like top to like high level players and like the grand in the bigger scheme of things. I know a lot of them started in Smash Four because that was like the basis of like how the competitive like meta is, you know,
Mm.
or it's like what people do, how they move around the game, all that shit.
No, I agree. So, are you playing on, or have you done any tournaments, locals, anything like that yet, or
I
plan
went
to?
to how many was it? I think it was just like I went to a couple few different locals, and only like two I actually participated in myself. The first one I went on to, like it like how it is, and then the second one was 2-2. But I don't really count that one because even though you know how the community says like, oh, we take those. Um, so the first match and first win that I had was against someone I could just tell was just like completely new to the game. He played Marth and whatnot, but I could just tell he was completely new. But that's a decent win. But then the second one where people was saying that like we take those was someone that disqualified in the thing, and I'm like, I don't really mess with the mentality of it depends on the situation. I don't really mess with the mentality of like we take those like that because I at least wanted to test myself
Mm.
to get better, whatnot. And it's like, so the first, like, so that's what it was. It was like, it was, because I said it was 2-2, it was win, win, lose, lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the first one was new person, second one, like DQ, and then the next two I got destroyed, you
Yeah.
know?
So
So
that.
yeah, that's why it was just kind of weird, and it didn't sit right with me to just say, "Oh, we take those," because it's not. It's really like 1 and 2 at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
even in barely with the new player, but that's just how I see it.
Yeah. So, okay, here's actually an interesting question to bring up. I've yet to compete in a local sense, casual tournaments and like playing 64 way, way back. But so it's been a
Hmm.
long, long time for me. But every time, I've listened to a lot of these interviews with these top level players, and they always talk about that drive, the motivation they get when they go to their first local and just get destroyed. Did you get that feeling at all? That like you just need to push and get better and better?
Pretty much, yeah, because I knew that I was gonna go against people that was gonna like have way more time on the game than I do. Like right now, I think my shit is at like what's that shit at? Let me see. Like my time on the game is around 870 hours.
Mhm.
And I know most people have like easily like 1,000 or like 2,000 hours, and then even then some, depending on or once you factor in their Smash Four time. So I knew I was gonna go against like some really like crazy kind of like insane players. So the first local that I actually did like 0-2 with, it was against a really good hero player that he actually, because he's American dude, and he surprised me with like how he was moving and like how his setup was for playing hero. And I was like, oh shit! I was just like genuinely surprised from just like what like how he was doing. But even like against And then of course going to like my first local too, it put me into the mindset of learning how to like deal with battles, knowing like when to push myself and like knowing like when to like stay focused and whatnot. And that's what that hero helped me to do because he destroyed me, especially like the first match. Like it was almost like no contest, and he did beat me the second match, but I could tell that I was getting like a bit more better of like a forward momentum, and I felt better about losing the second match than I did the first one.
See
If
that?
that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
completely understand. I'm see if I had to face a hero like my first time going to a local, I just would have unplugged my controller and walked out. I can't stand hero.
Really?
No, I can't do it. I just there's something about him that just infuriates me. I think it's feel just when I feel unlucky because he just feels lucky. I don't know. It's a whole thing. So you're playing Ultimate right now. Do you have any interest at all in going back and doing like Melee or Project M or being one of the weirdos that play 64 competitively at all?
I still got the original my original like I got two 64s and I got the original Smash 64 still. And I think I don't know about like competitively, but definitely like for casually. Like I definitely want to go back to Brawl just because of how that game was, and then also because of Subspace Emissary too.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
still got like my casual heart is still like there to like a huge degree. Like I have like a huge casual side and a huge competitive side too.
I know.
Um, and I don't know if I'll ever go to for like pick that up to like see how it is. I don't know because then I would have to try to find a Wii U. If I
Yeah.
did, it would just be just to, like own all the Nintendo consoles and whatnot.
Yeah.
But definitely Brawl. I don't know about Melee, but from what I've seen of like Project M and like Project Plus, maybe. I'm not sure though, because I'm not even sure like how I would like what console I would need to, or I don't know like the beginnings of like how I would like need to like get into those two games,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe we'll see.
Yeah. I remember I played a lot of Project M in college. Somebody had a modded Wii that we played a lot of Project M on, and that was most fun. And that was also when I kind of got very humbled of thinking I was very good at Smash, and then these guys play it, and I don't know how much credibility there is, but somebody that was going to college with me apparently was like ranked in Guatemala, so that was that
Oh
was
shit!
that was that was quite a difficult thing to do.
What like ranked on like the top PGR or just like the PGR like their the
What
actual
I
tournament?
whatever their version of the PGR was. This was back in like 2013, so I don't even think PGR existed. But whatever was they were using, whatever community
Oh
ranking was
yeah,
used, out there. So I don't know, and who knows? He might have been full of shit. So who knows? But
right.
he could back it up though, so that's definitely for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, the second player that like I played that made me O2 was actually a Lucas Ditto, and that's like one of the Dittos that like I can't stand playing against because it's so it almost cuts like what Lucas can do like straight up in half, and
Right.
it's like
No, I
I
agree.
hate it sometimes, but
I
it is what
I
it
have a
is.
weird relationship with Lucas. I played him a bunch in Brawl, and then I just Smash 4. He came out as DLC, but I wasn't excited about it. And then he
Mm-hmm.
came in Ultimate. Even I played him a little bit, but like I don't know. So I don't really know. I remember playing him a bunch in Brawl. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I
And that's I'll go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, I remember mainly in Brawl. The one thing I remember the most about Brawl, well, two things. First off, Brawl was the first time where I kind of misguidedly kind of started playing competitive, and I say misguidedly because I thought competitive was one stock Final Destination only, because that made sense to me as a kid. It's a duel. You got to have one
Yeah,
stock. So, but I
yeah.
also have very fond memories of I picked up Meta Knight because I thought he was really really cool. And
Oh
then I
shit.
started like going to parties, and people said I couldn't play as him because he was banned, and I didn't know what they were talking about, but I didn't want to upset them, so I switched to Yoshi.
Right. Right. uh, Brawl Meta I've never like experienced it myself. Like just knowing like how the community talks about it is like fucking insane.
It was a special time. Like as someone who like goes back and watches old vods of like old tournaments and stuff, seeing Meta Knight is kind of a special experience.
Right on. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say just
Oh
now.
no, you're good.
Um,
So I guess while you're thinking about that, one thing I kind of wanted to bring up as kind of a conversation point. I was thinking about this last night, and I didn't think I would bring it up, but now I'm kind of curious.
What's up?
I'm kind of thinking about how, when people start really getting into Smash, they kind of do start playing at that competitive level where they are playing on, a select number of stages, no items, 3 or 5 stock. And I wonder, and that's, is that necessarily a bad thing? Because, I mean, I'm trying to think about it. When's the last time I've intentionally played on a stage with items on that was not tournament legal? And I don't know if you have the same experience or if it's just a me thing.
Do you mean like competitive, like casual versus competitive, or like
Yeah,
in like play?
I'm kind of talking like when you
Oh,
start getting competitive, how, do you find yourself not really, even when you're hanging out with friends, do you still just, stick to legal stages and no items and stuff, or
I
you
don't,
know,
okay. So I don't have friends come over that often, but we do. But when we do play, it's like three of us like playing like it's like a free for all type of
these
session,
true false?
and
Okay.
so with the type of person that like I am, just like in general, I'm like a wavy person that could almost go like back and forth between things. So that's like, even though I started getting into competitive with Ultimate, there still are like so many cases where either I throw on like yeah, I'll throw on items, I'll throw on regular stages, I'll throw on motherfucking Final Smash meter. And yeah, I do that every now and again. I even do that with the group that you and I met in, and that's why I try to get you to like come around more often because we
Yeah.
do have like casual like settings and whatnot. We have
No.
like for like full like 4 free for alls and whatnot, and Final Smash meter. And there's even was one time where we played on regular stages. So, and I know KG or Pants. I'm not sure if you know him. He was dodging the rest of us while on Palutena's stage, and it was like that. That was a whole craziness. But
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm able to like go back and forth from casual to competitive,
See,
and that's even the thing when I'm fighting different people, especially on quick play and whatnot. I tend to look at how my opponent is, and if they're kind of being like silly or stupid or whatever, then I'm kind of like silly and stupid too. But if they're being like really like try hard sweaty, then I'll be try hard sweaty too. I usually go around like my opponent. I'm a wavy person like that.
yeah. See, and I'm jealous of that, and the reason is I can play with items and stuff, but now I've just become such a try hard. It feels weird playing anything that's not 1v1, and I hate myself for it. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's just the way I am, like competitive mindset.
I feel like especially for the people, you definitely got to do like both casual and like competitive too, so you don't end up just like hating this game or
No,
taking like long breaks from this game.
no, I
Because
agree.
I feel like I feel like the competitive side, not competitive. I feel like the casual side will help you certainly get better from the or to going into the competitive side as well. Because I can't even lie, like a lot of the characters like you like I use mainly now. Oh, excuse me. Um, I started playing them like casually. Like that's why I got a lot better with Greninja, Banjo, and Roy and even Lucas because um like it's all just kind of like a casual like kind of like fan thing for what let me choose these characters on top of you know if I actually get like really fucking good or really fucking like great with them.
Hmm.
So the reason why I even like picked up Lucas was in Brawl. I don't know if it's like canon wise, but I could tell that he has more raw power than I think he's stronger than Nez. Or he definitely has more raw power. It's just Ness is just like he seems like the one that had more time with his powers and he's just more refined with it.
Yeah, no,
So that's what led me pick up Lucas because I could just see like the rawness within him and whatnot.
yeah, no.
So that's pretty much just goes on to say that I started from like super casualness and then started getting into like gradually competitive because I didn't even realize how good Greninja was until I heard other people talking about it. And I'm like, I can't do none of that shit with Greninja until like recently. But even with Banjo because I didn't so DLC. with the first Fighters Pass, I only wanted to grab Banjo, Hero, and Byleth because we will always play. This was before I had to switch my own copy of Smash. We will always play at the college I used to work at. They had like a school like gathering and whatnot. We would go into a room and just play Smash with each other. Um, I liked how those three moved over Joker and Terry, over
Yeah.
Joker and Terry at first, and that's what led me to get those three, especially like casually. And now I'm like I said before, going from casual to like competitive. Banjo is one of my second best characters, and Byleth I'm kind of decent with, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I follow like my casual heart into the competitive side, you know.
No, no, I
So yeah,
really I appreciate that. All right, so real fast, we're going to move on to some news right now, and we're going to have a kind of a deeper dive into it later on with our interview with Stealth in this episode. But I want to get your thoughts on it too because it is such big news. I feel like I need a lot of angles from this. The
right, right,
Nintendo
right.
Panda partnership.
Shit, man, I'm super excited, but I'm super skeptical about it too
See,
because
I'm all right. I'm curious.
I'll have
Give
to
me your
go back in the group.
skepticals.
I'll have to go back in the group chat and like find it, but I'm skeptical of only because we've had Nintendo sponsor tournaments before, and but Nintendo has definitely made it very clear to us that they'll sponsor us some, but also cut off some of our tournaments too. Because I think I told you about it, where I think it was Low Tide City that we had down here in Texas recently, where they cut off like the melee side
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot, and that's why they didn't have melee down there. And so yeah, there's like there's I don't know if they shut down any like ultimate tournaments recently or within like the last two years
I
or
think they've
3 years or
been
something like that.
relatively okay with Ultimate. It's mainly been Melee that they've been going towards, and that's why I've been slightly skeptical too. Because I almost wonder, and, I kind of talked about this with Stealth, which we'll hear later in the episode. But I said, is this a PR move or is it the Nintendo actually realizing, hey, you know, we need to start capitalizing on this. This is a good strategy. Let's get into this.
And with that later point, that's what makes me optimistic about it too. But then I go back to the skeptical side of it because it's like I don't. There's, we'll have to let some time pass and let's see what they do exactly. Because not to mention, since all the tournaments before that they hosted, they were all casual tournaments, like
Uh-huh.
items on all that shit. But then I seen some people argue that because they have a partnership with Panda Global, that Panda is not gonna let them.
No, exactly. That's why I had to
Yeah,
bring that up. I was listening to an interview Hungrybox did with Coney of Panda, and Coney was saying himself that yeah, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't think it was doing right by the community. So, and I think that's definitely a good sign.
I was listening to that interview as soon as like Hungrybox went live with it too, and I posted in the chat that it was so crazy that every single one of the Panda representatives, so like Coney, Little Z, um, Esam, Wadi, and Mars, they all knew about this, but of course they couldn't tell us. And it was crazy. It kind of makes me think like, what was their initial reactions when they got the email and like Alan approached them with it, and
Yeah,
it was
no,
like, so I'm curious about that, but
yeah,
like that's what makes it even more like, oh shit, you
no.
know?
And the fact that Melee is there, like I think people would have been excited if even if it was just Ultimate, but the fact that Melee is even being considered is just huge. It's vindication after nearly 2 decades of a grassroots community that's tried so hard to show that they matter, and this is kind of finally that recognition they feel like they deserve.
Yeah, and that's probably that also probably is a reason why Nintendo finally like gave this to us because they see they see they created two powerful communities within like the FGC, even though Smash is supposed to be a party game. Fuck that.
Yeah,
um, they created like two really powerful communities within the FGC, and then like they know that too because they've even tried to like smite us down with like a few different things, with trying to get rid of like the mods project plus Project Elm, Slippy, Melee, like all of that shit. They see we're here and we're trying to stay and whatnot, you know. And
Yeah.
they see like our passion for the games. They see like all of this shit that we're doing, you know. So it's like it's interesting that they're finally like doing this shit for us, but at the same time, I'm trying to like hold my tongue too because I'm trying to like let that time pass to see exactly what they do.
It's it's like yeah, I'm excited, but I have to stand back. The one complaint I have right now of what they're doing is they said they are limiting it to North America competitors only, which I think is a shame because there's such good talent from Europe, Japan, Australia, South America. There's a lot of really good talent out there that unfortunately won't be able to attend this, which I think is going to be a shame.
I just thought about that too. Do you know? I have to rewatch the Melee documentary to get that answer to that question. But do you know if it's mainly American players that brought back Melee or started with the whole Melee scene? Because I know Leffen exists and he's over in Sweden.
Yeah,
I don't know if like any other part of the world has like a huge Melee scene nearly
yeah,
as much as.
U.S. is definitely the probably the strongest melee scene, and whether that's through just pure numbers or if that's through just a weird drive. That's a good question actually, but I believe it really started. I mean, I believe the origins kind of date to NorCal. I believe is kind of where the origins of competitive melee kind of started, as far as we know.
North Cali. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm so curious about that actually.
Right? No,
But
I need to actually sit down and watch. I've actually never watched the Smash Brothers. I need to, but it's like 3.5 hours long. It's hard to find the time to take all that in.
yeah, I'm mad that we'll never see the Brawl documentary because False was a asshole that just disappeared.
Yeah.
But um,
Well, they have that.
yeah, I'm so
They
curious
have that
about that because
new
I don't
one, metagame. I think it's called. Right. Sorry to cut you off.
metagame. Oh, I haven't heard anything
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think it's the same guy that did the Smash Brothers. I might be wrong on that, but
The Melee one.
yeah,
That would make sense too,
yeah,
because you got like a little like thing legacy going.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because it's even to the point that's like I don't even know where like most of like the melee players are from, like Club ID,
Yeah.
BW, and
You do
like
have
all the
you
rest of the niggas.
Yeah, you do have a lot of. I mean, I know melee competitive scene a bit just because it's something I'm interested in. But there are some really good players from outside the U.S. There's Amsun is Yoshi, Leffen, as I said before. I think Armada is retired, but he was a European player and in his prime was one of the best. So
Really?
yeah. So I mean
Yeah, I didn't know he was from Europe.
yeah, he was from
Okay.
Europe. So there definitely is a lot of you know players both in melee and ultimate from outside the U.S. and that's why that's the kind of the
Ultimate, of
one.
course.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one sour thing I'm feeling about the Nintendo Panda partnership is that they are limiting it to NOA. And to be fair, it's this is not going to be taking over every other tournament. We're still going to have Genesis, we're still going to have Smash Con, we're still going to have Main
And
Stage. So
yeah, and to be like even more fair or like positive of them, it's like they might be doing America because that's where they see like the most of the activity in. But
yeah,
then this might be also be like a test too. That's why I say like to give time towards it because
yeah.
they might just be starting with North America and then they might move up to. Oh, that includes Canada and Mexico
Yep,
too,
yep, exactly. No, that's why. So yeah, Leo will 100% be in this
and
competition,
Riddles
100%,
too,
and Riddles,
and
yeah,
Riddles, yeah,
and yeah. There's going to be some really high tier competition for whenever they do hold that event.
yeah. So Japan might be the second one that they might do because that's probably. I was thinking of like maybe the UK, but I think Japan is just like a bit bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
be
I
the second
think
one.
getting
Not to
Japan
mention
in.
since they're like right there next to us.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. And plus, it'd be easier for Nintendo organize events in Japan with them being based out of Japan. So
yeah, they're probably just waiting for more of like the COVID shit to
yeah,
like
that's what
ease
I'm
and
thinking
whatnot.
actually of that.
Yeah,
And I wonder if maybe that's why they don't want to, they don't want to advertise a tournament that would involve flying people around when that could be a hazard and could be bad press if an event becomes a hot spot. So, and I
right,
if
right,
I
right.
guess thinking about it there, I can kind of understand that.
That makes sense too because like yeah, it's definitely going down more and more lately because more people have started to like host like super majors, majors, A+ majors, like all
No,
of that shit.
no,
Um,
it is so good to see IRL tournaments coming back. It is because here's the thing. I
hell yeah.
started really getting into watching IRL tournaments in like late 2019 and then the world shut down. And like I tried to watch online stuff, but there's something about the chance of the crowd, the beef between players that you're seeing, the community come together. That's
People
so
pop it off,
it
yeah.
yeah, it's
See those
so
beefs,
it's
yeah.
so it's so special. It's so special, and I honestly think that there's not really like we don't see people celebrating and looking at like League of Legends pop offs. I think Smash is so special because of how involved the community has been since the beginning that it's really something special. Which is why once we get these IRL tournaments coming back in full force, it's going to be a magical thing.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this first part of the podcast. You'll let the people know where can they find you.
Um, just for now, the main thing I'm doing just like YouTube, over at SMS the Miracle, SMSDA Miracle, but I'm gonna end up getting onto like Twitch and like even doing more like SoundCloud because I try to like make like some music stuff as well. But the main thing you could do is YouTube SMS the Miracle.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for having me on
Yeah,
here. And
absolutely.
I definitely do appreciate that. It was
Absolutely.
nice to talk
Yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for coming in, and I'll see you around. When we come back, we'll be talking to another Smash player who got in a weird Smash game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We'll be also asking him about the Panda Nintendo partnership, as well as some other questions about the Smash community in general, and some more Smash news. That and more when we come back to No Johns. No Johns is brought to you by Amiibo TV. Amiibo is hosting weekly Super Smash Bros. Amiibo tournaments over on Twitch every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time. You can catch them on Twitch TV / Amiibo TV. That's Twitch TV / AMIIVO TV. Welcome back to No Johns. Joining me now is a friend of mine, fellow Smasher, and all around really nice guy. It's Stealth. Stealth, glad to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm doing good myself. Hey, so let's talk some Smash. Let's talk some Smash. So, I guess let's start off with. So, how'd you get into Smash? Let's kind of start that off with the easy one.
When like the Wii was a huge thing, all the cool kids were playing Brawl. So. Oh yeah. Also, I was really into Kirby at the time. I think that's what drew me to the game. In fact, I just saw Kirby there. I immediately just.
So you just made Kirby and Brawl.
Yeah, I literally just played Kirby because he's Kirby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Smash 4 came out, and like a lot of my friends were like actually like good at the game, and I played with them, and that's kind of where I went from playing bot games with items on to actually just like 1v1ing people and stuff like that.
Nice, nice. And are you still playing Kirby today?
I keep him as a pocket pick.
Yeah, it's pocket. So who are you maining now in Ultimate?
My main has been Marth. I used to play Mario, but not so much anymore. Marth and Byleth are probably my best two right now.
Byleth, nice. Those are. I appreciate anybody that's playing Marth now these days because everybody's just playing Lucina, so I can appreciate that.
I'm always happy when I see another Marth player.
No, it's a rare breed. That's what I have when I'm playing Duck Hunt. When I see a Duck Hunt in the wild, I'm like, oh, you exist. I'm not the only one.
Duck Hunt's super respectable.
He's fun.
Nice to see.
He's a fun time to play. So, have you gotten into any of the other Smash games? Like, have you gone back and tried Melee out or played 64 to see what it's like? Or
I almost went back and played Melee. I haven't done it yet. I know one of my friend Kyler really wanted me to go back and play Melee, and I haven't done it yet. But I think the reason I haven't actually tried it yet was because of Rivals.
Is Rivals so?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, my brain's just like, Why play Melee when you can just play
Play
Rivals?
I'm glad that you're in the same way, because I'm the same way. I wanted to get into Melee, and then I started playing Rivals, and I'm like, man, this is a really good game. So I just play Rivals now. It's kind of my secondary outside of Ultimate. I guess another topic to get into is you just got off watching your first Amiibo. As I said, this is the first Amiibo official podcast. So I guess as a first time viewer, I'm kind of jaded because I've been hosting this thing for over a year. So what'd you think of it?
I was actually really pleasantly surprised.
It's good to hear.
It was a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be, because a lot of the Amiibo matches I watched are kind of just like, it's just more janky Amiibos.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, it's yeah.
I remember, like, I'd blink for a second, and I remember this one, the Byleth Amiibo in specific pulled off, caught me off guard. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, yeah.
There were a lot of nice little clips in there, but
Yeah, no, it's a fun.
these Amiibos are like good.
Oh yeah,
compared to the
no,
ones I've seen.
they're fun, and today was definitely a weird day. We did our draft pick. We're doing, I got to keep a lot of stuff hush hush, but we're doing a lot of crazy tournaments for 2022. So we decided this year, we're going to have a draft pick where everybody has a couple Amiibo to their names, and just to kind of make it more interesting this year.
All right.
Especially, my team, I love them, but I'm definitely the most passionate about Smash out of us. So I'm trying kind of what I can to kind of, get them a bit more invested in it.
Yeah. No, I could definitely tell through the commentary during the stream as well.
Yeah.
You were very passionate about it. I really
Yeah.
like that. That's part of the reason it was so
Yeah. Well, thank you.
much more invested than I thought it would be.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we've been
Yeah.
doing that every week for since October of 20. Then technically it started in April of 20 as our county got out of a lockdown for COVID, and we were all bored out of our minds, so we wanted to hang out, and we started to play Smash, but we realized there was kind of a gap between us who played and us who didn't play that really couldn't get into it and get frustrated. So we thought we would watch CPUs fight, and that was kind of boring. And then we kind of remembered, I have some Amiibo, back in my bedroom, so we'll go grab them, and it kind of all started. And now we're doing this, this of our lives. So
Honestly, that's a pretty smart solution, I'd say.
no, it honestly has brought together some people, even people that really don't care about Smash Brothers. It's an investment that they can do. It will never be the level investment of like watching MKLeo or Hungrybox or any of those big names climb up to the top, because there's the human element in there. But I think it's a pretty good substitute.
Right. Nah, it's still fun to watch. It's like, it doesn't really leave anyone out. Amiibos are, like, it's how you use the character, I guess. You can kind of train them in your own specific playstyle, and they'll kind of figure out stuff. They will figure out stuff that you probably couldn't even figure out with your character. It's kind of entertaining
exactly.
to watch.
Yeah, it's fascinating, kind of the things,
Yeah.
and they almost take on their own personalities. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. I've noticed the same thing a lot of the time. Like, every time I'll play Smash with a new person, either I will feel bad because I have had more experience than them, and then they don't seem to be having fun, or I'll feel bad because I'm making a lot of stupid mistakes and it's
Yeah.
showing. And
Yeah,
I'll
no.
just be like, damn, I suck at this game.
That's the hardest part about Smash, especially with kind of how it is done lately, where you're mainly only playing online with randos. Is like either you feel like you're completely doing really good, or you're completely getting destroyed, and it's really hard to find that kind of perfect balance where there's people around your level. Real fast, going back to Amiibos, do you have any?
I have a pretty good roster of them.
Oh gosh, all right.
Honestly,
Can you be R53? That is the question.
when would I have to have an Amiibo trained by? Honestly, for most of them, either I train them in Smash 4 or they're more of collectibles.
Yeah.
Like, either I really like the model and I want to have it because I really like the character, or I trained them back in Smash 4 and was too lazy to transfer the data.
No. Transferring the data we found stinks because they put him back to level 12. When you put in the ultimate,
Really?
yeah, they do. We found that out the hard way, and we're like, oh man, because we thought, this will be easy. We have all these Amiibo from Smash 4, we'll just transfer them over, but no.
They at least keep the, food?
Kinda.
Like the
It's
effects and stuff?
not really.
Really?
Yeah, no, we found out the hard way. You basically gotta train them from scratch. They'll keep their name, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think the The only one I've transferred was the only one I thought was worth. Actually, I trained my Marth up. He's not great, but he lands tippers, so that's something.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
impressive. You know, actually, I think we had that happen. We had a friend of ours, Alec, or sorry, Dark Nile, a friend of the show of ours, who has came out with a Marth amiibo that he had in Smash 4, and he said, yeah, like he still knows how to use tippers, and I don't understand how. We're like, man,
Yeah, the Marth amiibos are cracked, but like if you have bad habits, maybe it's just an amiibo thing, but man, you can really see your weaknesses through these things.
absolutely.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No, absolutely about that.
Like, you don't realize it when you're playing, but like when I trained up Marth, I was like, you are jumping
Yeah.
way too much.
It's time now to move on to our next segment, which we call "What's in the News." And we got, you know what? There's a lot that's been going on in Smash news, and I think maybe it's, you know, we should start off with the big one, which is Panda Global officially partnering with Nintendo of America for the first officially licensed Smash Brothers circuit, playing Ultimate and surprising everybody Melee.
No, I definitely have heard. I didn't like know how to react at first because I'm like, wow, Nintendo letting us have fun.
I don't know.
But
I was so baffled by this. I'm like, is this a joke? Like,
yeah,
what's going on? Is this a? And no, it's an actual official thing that's going on, and it's such a weird. What do you think made Nintendo? I don't know if cracked is the right word, but what do you think made them want to play ball with this after so many years of trying to shut it down and you know stop it? Do you think it's just a PR move, or do you think they legitimately are seeing this as a step forward?
I mean, a lot of the popularity, like I know they wanted it to be more centered around like more of a fighting party game hybrid or something like that, but yeah, like a lot of the game's popularity revolves around its status as like a competitive game in a way. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like honestly, I don't have an answer for why Nintendo would do that because they seemed really like they did want to do that. Like that was the last thing I'd expect them to do. But
No, and that's why it was so weird to me because, like, I, you know, we've seen so many of these big esports teams saying, "Hey, we're announcing this tournament, and you can compete for $25,000 and this and this and this." But just to come out and just say, "Hey, you know, this is like the most official we've ever gotten," you know, outside
Yeah.
of like you know a Toys R Us tournament when the game launched to promote it or something. Like this is it, and I've been seeing a lot of like you know professionals just reacting to this and are very excited for it. You know, some skeptical, and you know what, I can understand that. You know, it seems too good to be true, definitely. But I see a lot of people that are super excited for it. One in particular is I think it was Hungrybox who basically said, you know, just to kind of paraphrase, this is what I need to light the fire under my ass and you know fall in love with Melee again. And I think that's huge because I think for so many of these people that have been playing this game for nearly a decade now, it's hard to keep saying I want to devote this much time and effort into something that has no payoff other than the glory.
honestly, I'm excited. I don't really see a reason to be like skeptical if it's an official event. Like,
And
there's,
yeah, and that's my thoughts too.
I don't feel like there's anything to hide.
No, I don't think so. And I feel like, you know, I feel like if Nintendo was saying, well, you have to play for items and this and that, I think Panda would have said, no, we're not doing that. You know, I don't think that's what this is going to be. I don't think they're just going to turn around and saying, hey, we're, you know, everybody's playing on Great Cave Offensive. There is one, I guess there is one little thing I found, concern I found. They are saying here, players from Canada and Mexico and the US will be able to compete. Which, to me, is kind of, there's a lot of really good Japanese and European players out there, and Australian players too. Both Ultimate and Melee, you know, that are some of the best that are out there. And like if this is supposed to be the great start of something big, it's kind of a shame we're not going to see them there. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's disappointing at the same because you know I want to see, you know, Smash is something that can bring people together, not you know, not just like from like a friendship, companionship wise, but literally from across the globe. So,
Right.
you know, seeing it's just limited to North America for right now at least, you know, it's kind of a bit disappointing, but I think this is a huge step forward.
No, definitely. Especially with what Hungry Box said about wanting to show his passion for Melee again.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like it's kind of the same reason I feel like I get disconnected from games like these. It's because if it feels like the only thing you really have to get better for is glory, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as rewarding. If that
No,
makes sense.
It becomes
So,
hard, and
if
don't get me wrong, like that strive for personal achievement is big, but sometimes there is that, there for a lot of people it's that feeling that this could be, you're getting good to be able to support yourself, support your family, and that's huge.
especially since if you're really passionate about it, then it could very well be something you take to that level, and it's going to be harder to do that if a game is like less, relevant.
Yeah.
Because if something is relevant, like if you're playing something competitively, like League or something like that, then that's really popular. It's like esports and everything. If you get really good at that, then you'll be able to reap at least some kind of reward for all your efforts. And if they're starting to be more open to that kind of thing with Ultimate, then I feel like that's a good step for us.
No, I feel
As
it's
a
a huge
community.
step. Yeah. No, I feel it's a great step, and I think that I think people too, they don't need to be worried about like, oh, this is going to take over everything. Like, no, you're still going to have Gommel, and you're still going to have SmashCon and Genesis and Main Stage and all those events. This is going to be, I don't want to say this necessarily because I don't think it's the right wording, but in a way, if this becomes like a yearly thing, this could be what replaces Evo for Smash. Like this could be the big
mean,
one.
Are they still even doing Evo though?
Not
I know they
since
canceled it last
the controversy, and they've taken like stuff out of it, so it's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, if that's the case and they know what they're doing with this, then I have faith that in a way it'll kind of reignite that flame. Feels like it was kind of lost over the time of the pandemic and all that.
Yeah, I think so, and I really hope so. I really hope so. Well, moving on to our next topic. It's an old topic, but I haven't gotten to really like talk about it with people a lot. So I think it's time to talk about Sora.
Sora.
It's time to talk about Sora, which is, I think it's safe to say, it is the most overwhelmingly positive DLC announcement, maybe next to Joker, that the community has received. And I think it was a great ending to the DLC pass. I don't know, where are you sitting with Sora?
Honestly, I feel like it was the perfect way to end it off. Like, I haven't really played Kingdom Hearts enough to have a personal connection, but I know that a lot of people wanted him. He makes a good fit for the game. I don't know. Like, I think he was a good way to end it off because, like I said, he's well known and he just seemed like something everyone would at least be content with.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think I'm the same way. I never played any Kingdom Hearts growing up, but yeah, I think something like that, being what ended it, felt so right that we had this, this big, just giant ending of just here is this massive reveal, and the fact that Sakurai even said like, hey, this was actually the winner of that poll that we held like, half a decade ago. Was kind of this big thing that kind of showed people like, no, yeah, we were really listening. Like, Sora didn't blow the internet up as much as somebody like Steve, but in terms of impact, I think people will be talking about this a lot longer than they will about Steve being in Smash.
I mean, I kind of assumed Sora would be like pretty split on what people thought about him, because aside from the fact that you could just call him an anime sword character,
Yeah.
Smash community just complain about anyone,
Oh yeah, no. That I think that's the big thing. I was excited to see was just nobody said, "Oh, it's another anime swordsman." Like barely anybody said that.
Yeah, no, that surprised me by a long shot. Pleasantly, but I think the community's kind of finally put at peace in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think because I know there was a lot of people hating on Fighters Pass 2, and I personally loved it. Like, granted, Min Min wasn't super exciting. Pyra Mythra, my friend mains Pyra Mythra now, so I can't play Smash anymore and have fun with it. But that's beside the point. I think Pass 2 was a banger of a pass between Steve and Sephiroth, and then ending off with Sora. And then, even at the end, Banjo's like, honestly, even before the first DLC pass dropped, I was like, all right, literally everybody's coming back. You got the Belmonts in there, which has been like my big request for all. Like, literally the only thing that didn't get added that I kind of wanted was Gino, and that was less of an I want thing and more of I want the community to be happy kind of thing.
I respect that, honestly. The reason I was praying the last fighter wouldn't be Waluigi is the exact opposite,
please.
Actually. Yeah.
I did not want Waluigi so bad. I was like, please, just like it's the meme. Don't do it. Like it's not the way to end a game that's done so much. Like I'm like Ultimate is going to be something that like people are going to look back at 20 years down the line as one of the greatest accomplishments in game development. Just in terms of its complete scale and ambition.
Imagine if that last slot went to Waluigi, though.
No, I don't want to. Please.
Okay, good.
Stop ruining my nightmares.
Well, can't ruin your nightmares anymore because when you wake up, you'll remember that Sora is in his place.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't even like playing Sora. He's way too floaty for me. That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Is I hate playing him. I think he's not a fun character to play personally.
Yeah.
And I was kind of excited at the beginning because I looked at him and like, oh, he's Jigglypuff with a sword. I can get behind this, but no, I just can't.
Yeah, I don't really like playing him too much either, and I can't really say he's my favorite to play against, and yet I feel like he fits the game well, so I still can't complain.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna move on to our final piece of news here. It's kind of a small one, but I wanted to bring it up real fast. Melee 1.3, a fan mod made to make Melee, just very, very nice and happening, and releasing it for the 20th update of Melee, 20th anniversary of Melee. This came out thanks to, I believe it was Hacks. Yep, right here. Hacks and Altimore are credited for making this. They're including stuff such as some HUD and quality of life improvements. They fixed Universal Controller Fix, which is a mod they do to make a non-optimal controller work well. Button remapping to reduce need to do claw grip. Customizable music. Frame reduced latency. And crew battle support. Just all these things to make Melee kind of just more friendly to the competitive scene. And I think this speaks very well for just what the community is doing right now. For just Smash in general. Just doing something like this.
I would definitely agree. With all the effort they put in just to bring an old game that is loved by a lot of people, to say the least, a more modernized approach of changing things. Honestly, it's kind of heartwarming in a way.
It really is. I love seeing it, and that's kind of why I wanted to highlight this. Just this little update, because this is something that on the competitive side you'll never notice, right? Or how to say this? Not from the competitive side, sorry. From the spectator side, you would never notice and appreciate this. This is only if you are playing the game competitively, this appeals to you. Yet it's so important to be doing things like this, to try to take a game that was never meant to be played competitively and make it so that there is this competitive level without as much Universal Controller Fix is massive. Just it reduces the need to have a perfect GameCube controller in this day and age.
That, along with the latency fixes, all those little details that add slightly more quality to the gameplay, just piling up and making it into something that it feels like it stands up more to other games today.
Yeah.
By a landslide compared to what it was before.
I agree.
People would still play Melee even with it being super outdated. Obviously it's a good game, but it had clear elements that were outdated. The fact that they're going back to fix all these little tiny things that made the game really show its age. They're just cleaning it up, making it into something new.
Oh no, I completely agree. I think it's such a good thing, and I think it's the Melee community is fantastic. It's even
Yeah.
beyond the fact that they have these grassroots. They're going out doing these tournaments and stuff. It's stuff like Melee 1.03. It's stuff like Slippy. It's stuff like having people make not one but two documentaries, like full length feature film documentaries just about your game. Like that's what makes a community so tight knit, and that's why while I've tried and I can never get into Melee playing it, I appreciate that community so much.
No, 100% I'm with you there. I have a lot of respect for Melee players,
No, absolutely.
especially since the community is so small and yet they're sticking with it.
Oh, I know.
You gotta respect that.
It's amazing. Like, can you name, like, outside of maybe Street Fighter 2, is there any other fighting game that has such a passionate community that's stuck around for that long for that one specific version of a game? Like, I think it's just Melee and Street Fighter 2 at this point.
Off the top of my head, I really couldn't one up that. Yeah,
yeah, I think it's something special, and I'm curious to see if I'm actually curious, and I want to get your opinion too. Do you think Ultimate's going to go the same way? I mean, considering how big and different it is, the fact that, let's be fair, like Smash 6 will probably not be anywhere near as big. Like, do you think like Ultimate's going to be kind of this third pillar of like the competitive scene? Will we have Melee, Ultimate, and Smash 6, all going at the same time? Do you think?
In an ideal world, I would want to say yes, but I feel like it could go either way, but I think there's a good possibility that, like, even assuming they don't make more Smash games, I'm not sure if they're going to or not, but assuming that either Ultimate is the final product of the Smash games or something with their future games makes a controversial topic, or even something like, I know Dan Fornace is gonna, I know he's been working on another kind of Rivals.
Yeah, there's a 3D Rivals that's getting a 3D game engine necessarily. It's not a 3D fighter, but yeah, I saw the early work for that.
I feel like even assuming they do kind of cut the line with Smash and stuff, that people definitely will put love into Ultimate. And I know there's a lot of people who, despite Nintendo's attempts to not let people do it, are still like going through and making mods and stuff for it.
No.
And I think as the Switch ages, it'll get easier and easier to kind of like exploit and mod and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think Ultimate and then other games inspired by Smash will definitely carry on the kind of platform fighter.
Yeah, I think
because
we have a lot coming out.
Fully die out.
No. I mean, we're already seeing now. We have Nicktoons, and then we have I want to say Metaverse. That's the Facebook thing. Multiverses. That's the other one. That are the two that are out now, and even them, and they don't look necessarily as much as polished, but you definitely tell it's companies testing the waters and seeing, hey, can we do this too? And I think that's, that we're getting to this era now where platform fighters are starting to become almost commonplace, and I think that's a good thing, because competition will do nothing but make Nintendo's output for Smash more impressive going on.
I don't know how factual this is, but I'm fairly certain that Smash is the entire reason we have so many platform fighters.
Oh, I mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything else that would have done it in its place, but I feel like the kind of game it made was a unique enough place to bring people who enjoy different types of genres together into one, and I don't think something like that will ever die out. You can, like you said earlier, you can especially see it through Melee.
Yeah.
These people are still passionate about their game. They still have love for it, and they're still willing to go through a lot of effort to make it into something that holds its own today.
Absolutely. No, I think that's absolutely perfect, and I think that's going to be ending off our first episode. Stealth, thank you so much for joining us. Tell the lovely people where they can find you.
Do I just like plug my social
media? Just do what you want. Yeah, on Twitter, YouTube. You got an OnlyFans? Go for it.
I think the only relevant platform I have that isn't like Discord or anything would be Twitter.
All right, go ahead. Plug
But
that.
yeah, you can follow me at DelphFox94. And yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of No Johns, the official Amiibo podcast. Once again, we're brought to you by Amiibo TV. You can watch them on Twitch every Friday evening, Twitch TV/AMIIVOTV. We'll see you back next month for more Super Smash Bros. News and memories. Until then, guys, please, no Johns.